You enter a bit of text and artificial intelligence software will paint any picture you like. This idea has gone viral and AI art has even won awards. Are text-to-image AIs creative or simply good at copying? And what does it mean for artists? Our topic on Shift. A sad koala reading a book, a hologram of grandma, or the most beautiful place on Earth. Text-to-image generators like Midjourney, DALL-E and Stable Diffusion create every image you can think of super fast. All they need is a few keywords. These AIs are trained with a huge amount of online images and use these as templates for their own creations. How can you use image AIs and how creative are the results?
This is how the end of the world looks, based on an AI model's interpretation. Turning text into images is all the rage right now. So how does this new AI art work? Well, it generates photorealistic or painting-like images from a small text prompt. It all started with DALL-E, created by OpenAI. OpenAI fed its machine learning model with tons of images scraped from the internet. The user types in a text prompt, and out pops a unique image.
They're very good at doing the sorts of things you might get a graphic designer to do, and they're quite good at doing some fun things, that putting together, a koala on top of a boat, or things that you might have never seen before.
Let's try that out using another AI art model, Midjourney. We type in our prompt, and out there's our koala on a boat. You can also jazz it up a bit. Koala on a boat under a starry sky.
So I could ask for a cat in the style of Picasso, and I get a very cubist-like cat. Or I could ask for a cat in the style of Van Gogh, and I might get a very starry night-like cat. We really don't know what's going to work or what isn't going to work. So there's a lot of playful discovery going on.
There's no way of knowing precisely how the machine learning models will determine the makeup of each image. Type in your prompt 1,000 times and you'll get 1,000 different outputs. To use Midjourney, you need a Discord account. To use DALL-E, you need to sign up at its mother company, OpenAI. And for people who just want to have a quick bit of fun, there's Crayon. The model is less advanced, but with the right prompts, you can get some interesting results.
Is this art? Not really, if you ask me. In order for the AI to create good images, you'll have to experiment with it for quite some time. It's called prompt engineering. But once you've developed a sense of how the AI works, the results can be really impressive. You could create a whole film universe without ever having studied art, like Fabian Stelzer.
Mom, can you hear me? Mom, please. This is important. Can you hear me?
The images for this scene were generated by artificial intelligence. No actors, set, or cameras.
You need to take a look at this.
It's a quantum leap that opens up new possibilities in many different areas.
Fabian Stelzer from Berlin has produced an entire film world with image AIs like Midjourney. He came up with the idea by chance.
I saw this picture of a mine that pulled me into another world, so I kept prompting until I had several images of that world, which I used to make a movie trailer.
Salt tells the story of space travelers who discover a strange planet covered in a mysterious salt layer.
It's just that the molecules are inverted.
What the heck do you mean by inverted?
There's no proper script. If Fabian wants to create a scene, say about a quirky technology salesman called Bob, he just jumps right in.
My first step would be to explore the surroundings of this hardware shop in Midjourney or Stable Diffusion. I do this by writing prompts to see what the AI generates from them. This process basically means that I get started by putting together the beginning of the story without knowing what the ending will be like. Right now I'm imagining there's a device that keeps bleeping and blinking. Maybe it wakes Bob up from an afternoon nap and he swears at it grumpily. After that, I don't know.
When the story's done, Fabian starts voicing.
What the hell was that?
And another AI tool changes his voice.
What the hell was that? Hab eine andere Stimme.
Finally, the scene is finished off with synthesizer sounds.
The completed scenes, so-called story seeds, are then posted on Twitter. After each episode, the audience can vote on what will happen next. This way, Fabian Stelzer's newly created universe is explored collectively.
That is definitely not normal.
SALT is an experiment to test the possibilities and limits of image AIs.
Is that... Oh no, is that me?
I think that there are people in the community who have better ideas for this film universe than me. And that's what I find really cool about these new technological possibilities.
At some point, Fabian Stelzer would want his followers to create their own episodes using AI.
Creating film content is usually really difficult, but these new technologies let us do it in a fairly easy way. And it also bridges the gap between creator, in this case me, and the community or audience.
Real-life interaction thanks to artificial intelligence, exciting. Fabian Stelzer uses AI to create still images. He then animates them using other programs. Soon, this process will become even easier. Text-to-video generators are already being developed by Google and Meta, for instance. An example from a US art fair shows just how well image AIs work today. In the category Digital Art, the first prize was awarded to this image, created by the Midjourney AI. But what do artists make of the new competition?
Rainer Eisch has been using computer programs for his art for 20 years. The artist from Düsseldorf sees the machine as part of the creative process. But like many other artists, he has mixed feelings about new image AIs.
I have these moments too, where my first reaction is, wow, what's this? But then you reach a point where you think, okay, what kind of quality does this new technology have, and how can I use it? At the moment, it's hard to say where this journey will end. From my perspective, this technology is very limited. I don't see it as creative in its current state.
The AIs can only create images with the help of humans. The input comes from the prompts. But whether they're creative or not, the results are often indistinguishable from human art, and that could cost artists their job. These magazine covers, for example, were created by image AIs. Still, Rainer Eisch does not believe that AIs will replace artists, as they lack creative impulse.
I do see a danger in AIs replacing artists temporarily, but the art would all eventually end up looking the same. By then we might not have any human illustrators left in the next generation. So we need to keep this profession and expertise alive.
Toby Walsh, Professor of AI at the University of South Wales in Sydney, also thinks we need human artists.
I don't think it's going to take away the jobs of artists. I don't think it's going to in any way replace artists. Just like photography didn't remove painting, what these programs produce may be useful for illustrating articles and the like, but they're not going to speak to us the way that great art speaks to us. They're not going to come up with some profoundly new way of seeing the world.
But how do these AI models actually become so good at generating images? It's down to the data that they learn from, which also includes artworks. This has led to many complaints by artists. Some of them have even sued. They argue that their art has been used to train AIs without their consent. But how does art even get into these data sets? Among others, a non-profit organization from Hamburg is responsible for this. Lion has trawled through the internet to compile different datasets with a total of 6 billion images. Apart from stock photos, they also include private images and art.
Lion's datasets are free under open source licensing. They've been used to train big AI programs like Midjourney. Open source datasets are supposed to enable more people to set up AI programs. Companies that set up business models based on datasets of other people's images is something Rainer Aisch is critical of.
Even if these companies are not generating profits yet, they should be held responsible for using other people's images and should pay up. All creatives are dependent on being paid for the work.
When it comes to image AIs, copyright issues are still unresolved. This also becomes a problem when artists use the technology for their own art.
Saying that an image I created using AI is someone else's property doesn't make sense. That would make a mockery of my life as an artist and my job as a professional artist who needs to live off his art.
Who owns the images created by AI? And what role does the art used for inspiration play? Difficult questions. Text-to-image AIs have other issues too. They often reproduce sexist and racist stereotypes. If the datasets used for training are neutral, neither are the images. The Lensa app creates stylish portrait photos from a few selfies. Lensa was also trained using Lion datasets. A colleague and I tested the app. I'm a white European male. While the selfies I uploaded were no beauty shots, the results I got were mainly very manly versions of astronauts and superheroes. In most pictures I could recognize myself, and there wasn't much skin on show. My colleague Adriana comes from Colombia. She was confused that the app presented her in a very European look in most pictures, with whiter skin, lighter brown hair, and even blue eyes. And many results showed a lot of skin or tight jeans, even though none of the selfies she had uploaded did that. Unfortunately, every AI is only as good as the data it's based on. What are your thoughts on AIs that generate images from text? A fun toy or the future of art? Let us know. Bye for now.